this might be getting close to the 10th edition of this live stream where we talk about what events are going on in the industry here in North America and now getting global, which is exemplified by the fact that Stephane is here to talk today about his series of events that he launched about 10 years ago. But before we get into that, I'm just going to click over and start sharing my screen. Maybe while I'm doing that, Stephane, can you introduce everyone to you and talk a little bit about what inspired you to start Deliver?
Yes, hi, and I'm very glad to be here on the in this on the studio. I'm very excited. This is thanks for the invitation. So my name is Stephane Tomzak. I'm based in France, Europe, and um, so the your friends on the other side of the ocean. And and yes, I created it out Deliver 10 years ago, based on that simple idea that I wanted to create this show that I felt was lacking on the market, which was um, having like a show which is what I would say like sexy for supply chain. Usually,
Hmm.
what I was seeing is like pretty boring shows. When we came to supply chain. So I wanted to do something really glamorous and very upscale and elite. And second, I wanted to also to make it very valuable for both the exhibitors and sponsors on one hand, and also on the shippers, right? On those people who are just signing contract with those exhibitors and sponsors. So that's why now I came up with this concept of one-to-one pre-scheduled meetings, which works very well to optimize the return on investment for our customers, so those exhibitors and sponsors on one hand, and to maximize the return on time for those shippers, and retailers and brands.
I applaud you for seeing an opportunity in the market, to deliver and haha, deliver pun intended. More sort of events that get to the root of why everybody's there and helping ensure that both the shippers and the folks that are involved meet the right persons, have those conversations that really lead to actionable results for their businesses. Um, Stephane, could you tell a little bit about what you did before? What were you doing before you started Deliver?
Yes, actually, and that answer explains why I started Deliver, because actually, before launching Deliver 10 years ago, I was one of those shippers. I was one of those retailers and brands. You see that this if you look at my LinkedIn
Yep.
profile, Xmania. So I was in charge of the everything related to supply chain and actually on transportation, to be more accurate. And I was in charge of the B2C and B2B and store shipping across Europe. So that I had like a really like a big span in terms of budget, in terms of team, in terms of geography. And supply chain was my forte, my expertise. And actually, and when I was visiting like numerous conferences and trade shows, I found them most of the time very deceptive. So actually, I think I have like a very classical approach of the guy who just put on the market the product that he wished was there ready to start with.
That's a compelling way to enter into something, is being your own first customer, right? Um, and designing it for something that you would want. I've heard that story a couple of times now, for sure. Um, could you talk a little bit about your upcoming events? I'll pull them up here on the screen so we can take a look at them. But yeah, could you share what's coming up in your event series?
Yeah, so actually, Deliver started as a European show 10 years ago. Now we were like a global show. So now we have like an entire portfolio, and the Deliver series is is next. Will stop in Vegas, right at the Horseshoe, which the location is really appreciated by our delegates. So this is on the 29th and 30th of October. So that's exactly like 4 months away from today, down the road. And then we are launching. So this show is actually this is an important show for us because it has like it would be our third edition already, and
Okay.
the first two ones worked really well. We had like great feedback. Our numbers are really growing, and the preliminary signs we see from both on the customer side and on the retailers and brand sides are really very promising. So we expect like a very successful show. I think there
All
is a
right.
potential for us over there for sure. And then next, we are launching actually in the 21st and 22nd of Jan, Dubai. This is actually it's a launch. It's very exciting because it was one of our customers who actually have been uh, working with us, which is DP World, who's been working with us like in Europe, in the US, in Asia, so and we've been very successful for them by creating great business relationship with them for them. And they told us, why don't you just launch a delivery in Dubai? Because we want to, Dubai is already like a strong place for supply chain, and we want everyone to know to put Dubai on the map when it comes to supply chain, globally. And we need a premium show like yours to settle in our backyard. So hey, we came back with this, and okay, let's do it. And we worked in a very limited amount of time, and we pulled this off, and in 6 months' time we'll be in Dubai. So this is very exciting. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. And then there's, I guess, if we launch a little bit forward, even into next year, you've got Singapore
Yeah.
coming up March 4th and 5th.
Exactly, yeah. And Singapore is going to be our second edition, and on the back of what we did last year, and which also like was a very promising event as well. The same concept, the pre-scheduled one-to-one meetings, and yes, and many customers told us that for a launch show they were really they told us that they said that it was a very great start into the area, and the region is booming, so so there's so much happening in Asia when it comes to supply chain and retail. So,
Yep, yep, excellent.
and back to Europe after this next year,
Hmm.
third of and fourth of
Yeah, I
Jan.
was gonna maybe in a second I was gonna pull up some visuals and things from the Amsterdam event, which just happened. But maybe before we jump into that, just a quick note for viewers that everything that we're talking about here and the events that we're going through are present here on the Supply Chain events calendar. So anytime you've got some inquiries about where you should be putting your time and effort, if whether you're an exhibitor or a sponsor or a company looking to get in front of customers or other companies, or you're an attendee looking for solutions, then check out the Supply Chain events calendar, and all the Deliver events are on here as well. And also, just a quick shout out to CSCMP for sponsoring the calendar of events. Um, what we like to try to do here is take a look at what happened last week or recently, and then we'll talk about what's going on maybe currently, and then what's going on in the future. So a quick shout out to what I was up to last week that a lot of people probably saw was here in DFW. There was a happy hour that CSCMP DFW hosted. The funny thing here is there was multiple people that I'd met for the first time at this event who had very interesting connections to me, whether we knew someone in common or one person lives in the hometown that I grew up in, and just all these connections that you kind of just randomly find whenever you are out and about and networking. Stephane, do you have an example of, maybe one of the events that you've been at where you ran into someone from years and years in the past, or someone that it was just a great story to make that connection?
I mean, you know what? This is actually this is happening so many times. It's more what I get from our customers and delegates, you know, and this is something which I do love. It's last time, so in Europe, less than 3 weeks ago,
Hmm.
when uh, when when someone told me, like, you know what, it's just basically like whoever is anyone here in this industry in Europe, you know, has to be a deliver, you know, and because they are just, you know, bumping into each other, rubbing shoulders, and with folks they know, and as you can see, it was like a pretty full house.
Hmm.
We had, like, you know, close to 2,000 delegates. 3 weeks ago in Amsterdam. So, you know, and the guys love to see what's going on in the market, and they know that if you're missing out the kind of networking and what we just mentioned, just Nathan just now, you know that you're missing out on something, or just missing out on the latest trends and what's happening, and yeah, just sometimes just a conversation could lead, you know, quite far away.
Yeah, yeah. You know, specifically looking at your pictures from Amsterdam from a few weeks ago, there's this one that I've got pulled up right now where it looks like there's like four conversations happening on stage
Yeah,
simultaneously, and the audience is split into four, and everyone's got like their own private headsets. Is that
yeah,
what I'm seeing there?
exactly. You're totally right, Nathan. It's a concept we do love, and that we've been actually trialing, actually, and rolling out actually for now a couple of years. This is this is the picture you're sharing now. It's both the main conference stage, right, with all the audience invited, you know, at the
Hmm.
same time, and it's split into four simultaneous tracks, and with one row in front of each track. Actually, the fact that everybody has its headset makes the experience so smooth, so qualitative. You hear the speaker so much better, but
Right.
so much better than any live, you know, setup, even if you're close to the stage, even if you're just yourself in the audience. I mean, it's amazing. From you could
Yeah,
be at the front and the back, you have like a crystal clear sound, and this is just amazing. And the small
that's
plus
really
is,
cool.
at some point, if you see that, you know, the because it is a headset which you can change the channels,
Uh-huh.
you can even, you know, just if you see that, okay, there is a session next to yours,
Yeah.
which is great. You don't have even to have to move chair. You just change the channel in your headset. You can even
Huh.
follow the other one. So it works like a charm.
That's really really cool. You know, kudos to you for having this innovative approach. It definitely looks visually stimulating and interesting to be in that audience. Um, so again, and congratulations on that event there in Amsterdam. I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend. The schedules just didn't line up, but I definitely want to get to a Deliver event soon. Um, let's take just a quick look at the events that are coming up this week. Here, the fun story is that this week, at least here in the U.S., is you know, the Fourth of July, you know, celebration of independence, and so there's not a lot going on in the U.S. this week or next week. It's a reasonably slow week as far as having events. A lot of event holders back off, not only just in holiday weeks, but in kind of in the summer months when families and individuals want to kind of take some time off. But there are a few events happening around the world, it seems, because if you take an international perspective of this, folks in Bangkok or Gambia are not exactly scheduling their events around holidays in the U.S. Right? So it's an opportunity to kind of check out those international events. And a quick shout out to where I'll be here in the near future. I'll just do a quick rundown. So, this is the 2025 International Warehousing and Logistics Association's Fulfillment Forum in Toronto, coming up here in about a week and a month. And so, excited to be there. We're going to have a very beehive sort of themed event going on there. The next one for me is the Panama Supply Chain Forum in Panama. This is the They've been running this for 5 years, but COVID got in the way. So this is the actual third instance of this event going on there in Panama. Um, Moving over to Columbus, Ohio, a lot of folks may have seen that the European version of this event just happened 2 weeks ago in Brussels, and so this is the North American version of that on September 9th to 10th. And then we've got the CSNP Edge Conference October 5th to 8th, and that's going to be in National Harbor, Maryland, at the Gaylord Hotel there. Some folks may have noticed that kind of things are picking up steam as far as where I am going in the world to attend events and what I'm kind of doing to try to promote these events to the industry. And so I worked with my friends at Sergere who have put together a tracking website just to track where I am and where I'm going to be. So I would encourage you to check that out if you like, and check out the tools that Sergere puts together for supply chain visibility. All right, I'm going to stop sharing there and get back here to the main stage with you, Stephane. Um, any last words on your side? Folks that maybe just now heard about Deliver. Any kind of closing remarks of kind of the value proposition that you all bring to both the exhibitors, the suppliers, and the attendees?
Sure. So I would say that if you want to experience something, I would say different, where on the exhibitor side, so on the supply chain vendor side, you want to get the bang for your bucks. Try with us, the pre-scheduled one-to-one, meetings with decision makers. I mean, it's been hugely successful. You've seen the size of our European, show. At some point, it's gonna be at the same stage or even bigger in the US. So I mean, the formula, it works like a charm, right? So I really encourage you to test it out with us. We also have some early birds packages still. And on the retailer side and the shippers, retailers and brands, also networking at only like a high level on C levels, VP, directors, also like provides like a huge value in terms of also like networking and finding the right connections with your peers and also with vendors. So yeah, the final thing is, the one thing we do different is that we are extremely serious when it comes to sustainability. So everyone who is willing to make a conscious choice on, okay, maybe I should not travel like to all the places, but select some, know that actually we are very very cautious on how we build our shows to make them to minimize the footprint. And we are actually paying back in a way the CO2 emitted, right? So compensating all the CO2 emissions. So all the flights, the emissions from the flights from the delegates actually are compensated. So we make it as smooth and conscious possible for all the attendees. So
I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to ask you about it because I saw your recent mention about it, and that it was a 2-year process, I think, to go through all the checks and verifications to get that certification. So congratulations to you and your team.
exactly, yeah. And we've been starting exactly the process of being B Corp certified. And so yeah, we're very
Yeah.
serious about this. Very serious about this.
Excellent. It's commendable work. Well, thanks for jumping on and being the co-host today for the events update. Looking forward to seeing more of your activity and kind of moving things forward in the industry through your events series Deliver. So take care, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you very much, Nathan, for having me here on your emission, and see you in Vegas then, in 4 months.
See ya.
Thank you. See you.